On day one of the Walmart FLW Tour event on Kentucky Lake, the race to the ledges was on early. At the same time, another race was going on for the Angler of the Year. Andy Morgan managed to gain a little more breathing room over Cody Meyer with what is now a 23-point cushion thanks to a 21-pound 4-ounce catch. And leading the event is Brett Hite with 24 pounds, 14 ounces.
Hite on fire. Tell us a little bit about it today on Kentucky Lake.
Luckily I had an early boat draw. Ran to a spot that I found real late in the day on the third day of practice. Ran there and a guy pulled up right behind me. I got right on the position, and it was literally cast after cast after cast, but they're all really good ones on this spot. I fished there till about noon, and then kind of just got off in the flat and put my talons down and just kind of protected that spot. It was a pretty special spot. There's a lot of big ones there, and hopefully if there's not any local pressure or other competitors, nobody else tried to get on there after that. So I'm excited about going fishing. I got a couple other really good ledges that I didn't even fish today that are in that area where I don't think a lot of people are fishing. So we'll see. It's one of those spots that you hear about, like a Randy Haynes style spot where, I mean, they're even coming up chasing, and you catch them on the bottom, catch them on the surface. So it's pretty exciting.
How do you know on day one to manage? I mean, how do you know when to lay off, when to manage, when to keep it to the floor to get all you can? I memean, there's got to be a lot of decision making going on right there.
Yeah, I just started. You start throwing back 3.5 pounders, and you just, those are going to be crucial later in the tournament. And I probably could have stayed on that juice and caught maybe another big one, but you don't want to sit there and let your partner keep catching them too. So I had a great partner today that really was a gentleman. That always helps too. So that's always the tough decision, whether to lay off of them. I figured, I wanted to get around 25 pounds. I mean, you can't win it the first day, but you can lose it. But 25 pounds is always a good goal.
When you got over in the flat and talon down, what would have happened if somebody would have come over to that spot?
Talons up and full trolling motor. It's you don't want to make it too obvious, but I had a lot of spectators just watching me today that were really, really considerate, never even got around me, never even, I mean, one was watching me. I took off from the spot and he left too. So hopefully it'll be that way the rest of the week.
Randy, you had a long day today. Tell me about which part of the day was maybe a better part for you. I'm guessing the latter part of the day with some current movement. I mean, tell me how it went.
Well, today the current moved just about all day today. And, I mean, this afternoon really wasn't no better. It seemed like most of the fish were beat up and they done a layoff. I just mainly fishing behind everybody. And it just, things clicked today. And, man, I got to run and gun today. I got to hit a ton of spots the way I love to fish, catch a couple and get out of there. And, man, I enjoyed it today. It was unlike Pickwick. And if I don't care if I catch fish tomorrow, I've had a blast already.
Tell me why. You're talking about you had plenty of room to fish. You could hit your spots without a lot of company and get in a good rotation.
Yeah, I mean, I timed a few places wrong. Some boys pulled up right before I did. But, this lake is so big. It's got so many fish in it. I got a handful of places. I mean, a very handful to myself. But I've got something going. I just got a lot of, confidence in and, hopefully pull in bigger fish out. And hopefully it'll work tomorrow. When
you say number of spots, give me an idea how many you hit.
Oh, man, I probably hit 40 spots today and rotated on them 40. If it was a little better spot, I thought, I hit it. And I caught some fish on places that fish hadn't been all week. So very, very blessed today. It just clicked today. And, I had one nearly 6. And that this time of year, anything over 4.5 is really a kicker this time of year.
What's the most number of fish you caught off of any one spot?
Probably 3. That's probably the most. I'm not spending much time on them. I just hope I can keep it going and keep the rotation going.
Anything fresh for the rest of the week?
Anyway.
Anything fresh? You got anything saved that you didn't visit?
No, I don't save nothing. I fish it like a one-day tournament. Plus I'm going for the points too. I can't really save nothing because if I stumble tomorrow, I need my weight today just to get me up there in the points. Maybe give me a shot at getting a cup.
Scott, early in weigh-in, already seeing some big bags coming in. Guys talking about catching them early right off the bat. Was that the case with you?
It was. I was an early boat number, so that was a blessing. I was able to get on a spot this morning that had some nice fish. I had about 18 pounds by about probably 9:30 this morning, and even lost a real big one there. My third fish this morning was just an absolute gorilla. And so it kind of slowed down a little bit after I got my limit. I had quite a few more places to check, ended up leaving there. And they were kind of biting for me pretty consistent all day. It's an early flight today, so I was way down south. I had to leave down there, around 1 o'clock or so to kind of get back up this way. But it was fun, It's Kentucky Lake. When you get those schools fired up, you can catch a big bag quick. But if you hit them and your timing's off a little bit, a lot of times you'll see them on the graph, but you just can't get them to bite. I just had a good rotation today. So, what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I don't know as far as getting on that starting spot. I don't think I can get on it. I'm going to be like one of the last boats out tomorrow, so I'm sure to be covered up. But, there's plenty more places to fish, and just I'm going to do the best I can.
About the current, didn't look like there was much this morning, and some of the early guys have said they've been able to catch them without any current.
Yeah, current, it doesn't really matter to me. Okay. Those fish, it's like an ebb and flow deal. They just move up and feed, and they pull back, and they move up and feed and pull back. And so, when you see them up on those bars in that 12, 13, 14-foot range, get ready because you're going to catch them. But then sometimes you pull up and they're out in that 18 to 22-foot range. They're a little hard to get to bite. You got to make them react. I literally have 15 rods in the deck of my boat, and I'm just mixing it up the whole time, switching up different lures. And a perfect example is my co-angler today. He's a good fisherman. He's got the same lures basically that I'm throwing. He's throwing basically in the same places. But he only caught one keeper today, and I probably caught 20. A lot of 3-pounders. My point to that is if you don't have the timing just right and the angle just right on these ledges, you don't catch them. Because he's throwing not the exact angle that I'm throwing. He's not getting any bites. So that's how important boat position is on these ledges and knowing, what the angle needs to be.
Where the cast is.
Absolutely. That's a perfect example of how important that is because I caught 20-something keepers. He's throwing basically in the same spot with the basic same lures, but he's got a different angle because he's in the back of the boat. He's just not getting bit.
Tom, no, you love the structure lakes. You like the deep fishing. Tell me about it.
I was really expecting it to be a lot better. I found a lot of schools, just like everybody else did, but there's so many here that you can catch them. But they were just more pressured today. A lot of times you want to graph. We have these Lorances, you can see the school, you see where they're setting up, you know where to pinpoint them. But if you rode over top of them, they would kind of scatter, and the next time you got over top, they were just flaked out. A lot of my fish, I had a starting hole, I caught 5 real quick, but after that, the rest of the day, you find a school, you pop up, and within the first 5 casts, you catch a good one, and that was done. And normally you just sit and grind on them and catch more good ones. Today, it's just a lot of boat pressure, and we had a lot of wind, a lot of rain, so it's a little slicker. Everybody cries about the current. We had plenty of current, but they just weren't on their game. So it's a testament to Kentucky Lake that when it's tough, you can catch 22 pounds. Tons of guys are whacking them. Then if the conditions get better, it's going to be pretty good.
I heard some guys say they didn't see much current today. You're saying you saw a lot of current.
Yeah, my co-angler was throwing a drop shot lighter, and you could see his line tailing off. So, it's not a lot, it's not a ton, but it's enough. They had enough for us.
Tell me about, you used the term, they get flaked out. Tell me what that means.
Well, they understand. As my friend once said, bass are dumb, but they ain't stupid. Right. He may be stupid, but he's right. They get wary. We were here a couple weeks ago for the railback. Super easy. You saw them, you'd hop up. In practice, it's hardly even worth making a cast because you knew you could catch them when they were in the right position. Same thing today. A couple times they'd be in attack formation. You just get that one out, and a lot of times you couldn't even get them to bite. They'd start sliding off the ledge as soon as the boat goes over them. So they definitely get wary.
They get wised up to the program.
Yeah, exactly. And that was my thing today. I was trying to throw baits just a little bit different, non-traditional, some finesse stuff, some great big stuff, just outsize. They get conditioned to all the great stuff that normally works, and as the season goes on, I fish in Lake Fork where they just get bombed all season, and they're really conditioned. So get ugly colors going to the tackle store, the one that's been dusty and sat there forever. A lot of times it's simple as that. Get a jig. How many jigs do they see a day? You get something in just the wildest pink, yellow color that's nasty, then they bite it. You just got to show them something different.
Michael, you had the long day today. Looked like it worked out for your favor.
Yeah, it did somewhat. I caught one fish maybe after some of the people started coming in, but I was really expecting to have a good evening bite, and it never really did materialize today. So I hope it's the same way tomorrow, and they bite a little bit earlier again like they did today instead of all practice. I mean, the evening was really good, but for some reason, whatever, I don't know why, the current moved pretty good all day today, from what I could tell, and it hadn't been kicking on until later in the evening. So I don't know if that had something to do with it, or if it was the storms coming in, or what the deal is, but hopefully it works.
It sounds like, once again, you found places to yourself. You seem to have a knack for doing that.
Yeah, I never fished within a casting distance of another boat again today either. I can't focus when I do that, so I try and find some stuff that's not obvious. But too, I look at the obvious stuff as well, and if there's not a boat there and there's a big school there, I'm going to stop. So I mean, that's a couple of fish I had today were off some pretty obvious stuff. But I mean, I'm going to go out there and fish the same stuff tomorrow. I had probably 45 schools marked, and it seemed like 10 or 15 of them was all they were really on today. I ran a lot of water, and there wasn't any fish on it.
Did you run all 45 of those?
I ran all 45. I looked at all, maybe 2 or 3 that I didn't look at, but it was just, unless I saw a good school of fish, I didn't stop. Stopped a few times where I just marked 4 or 5 and never could get those to bite. The only way it seemed I could get them to bite was if they were in a big school.
Based on what you saw today, what do you feel about the upcoming days?
I feel like it's going to get tougher, really. I think today is going to be the highest weights. I think if you average out somewhere around 21, 22 a day, like something what I had, you walk away with the trophy at the end.
Wow. Okay. So why is it gotten a little tougher, just busted up schools?
Yeah, the busted up schools really made an impact today. Several people I talked to said the same thing. They were just all scattered down the ledge. When they do that, you can't really trigger the school to bite. I mean, you're just catching one here and one there. It's not a flurry like you catch 10 in 10 minutes.
Andy Morgan, you never let that poor Cody Meyer up for air. I mean, the guy brings in 19 and you hold him down on 21. I mean, you just don't give up.
I really don't know what to say. It's just been working out. I mean, to say you're holding Cody down, really not. Cody, I mean, from the West Coast to come over here and do that well, I mean, that's amazing. Like I said in an article earlier this week, I think he's probably probably the best fisherman to come off the West Coast. And there's been some dandies, but Cody, he's showing amazing consistency. I'm impressed, very, very impressed. And again, like I said on stage, it's going to be a hell of a race, it looks like. I mean, you can't let up for a second.
Tell us, we go out there and we can look on the ledges and see all these guys idling around and find a lot of these guys. They're out there on the river ledge. We go looking for Andy Morgan. We don't ever seem to find him out there playing that ledge game. How is it you're able to consistently catch him without getting out there and really playing that game?
Well, I'm sort of playing that game, but I'm just kind of running around on a lot of little sneaky stuff. I'm not catching a whole lot of fish. I'm just trying to catch a good grade of fish, and it seems like, I mean, if you're catching singles, you pull up and fish 100 yards or 200 and catch one, seems like it's a little better fish, and most of the time it's not been caught before. If you pull up on those schooling places, you know, they've had cull tags in their mouth, they've been caught before. Those schools cannot hide from a down scan. There's no way, but singles, yes. I mean, you don't know if that's a catfish, carp, whatever it is. The down scan and technology, you just can't hide from it.
How similar is this to Chickamauga last year when you fished that final tournament there at Chickamauga and a lot of guys were doing the mega school thing and you had some little individual sneaky single type stuff? Is that your strategy? It worked good last year. Is that what you went with this year?
Yeah, it really is. I'm just finding little small places, and man, it takes so much time to find those. I mean, I've used a structure scan a lot to find these little individual places, but I mean, it's been 15-hour days from daylight to dark every day, and man, it's just a lot of hustle and it's a lot of work, and it's kind of, and I said coming into this, I'd kind of painted myself in a corner if everything didn't go fairly good because I had no backup strategy. I spent so much time hunting those places that if a wheel fell off, it was off. I was going down. There's no doubt about it. But it worked out today, and to say what's going to happen tomorrow, there's no telling because you know a lot of those places don't hold but 1 or 2 fish, and you know I'll weigh those in today.
A lot of people say Andy knows the Kentucky Lake so good, so well. He has places that he fishes on history, but tell me how many of those places you found in practice on the structure scan are places you've never fished before?
Every place I fished and caught fish today, I've never fished before in my life. I caught some fish on places I'd fished before, but I didn't weigh in anything off of those places. It's all new stuff, And I wanted to keep it that way. I wanted to come here with an open mind. I didn't want any old waypoints. I wanted to come here and keep an open mind and find some new stuff, because all that old stuff I caught them on years ago beat down. I mean, it's took the beat down. It's obvious. It's community places. It's places 4 or 5 years ago when we were here that you could easily find with electronics. Now electronics are even better. So, I mean, you can paint yourself in a corner here.